Hi everyone, this is Kim with Abundant Life Tarot, and I am doing a video on my psychic tarot reading crystal tools. So this is part of my crystals magic video series, and I am discussing my talismans, my tools that I use in the crystals world to help me enhance my intuition and my psychic abilities in both my tarot readings and just in life in general. I will be also in the future doing a video on practical uses for crystals, but that's another video, and probably another video as well on love or work, related uses for crystals. It'll probably be in my practical uses video, but this is really specific to people who are healers or who are readers or psychic or those who use crystals in that way. Maybe not to be a reader, but just enhancing their intuition and their own psychic abilities in their own personal lives. So let us get started. So the first one is my newest addition to my psychic toolkit, and that is my Lemurian quartz crystal. And if you look carefully, you'll see the ridges here. Those ridges, along with it being a point, and then it goes off to this part almost disjointed, almost like a wand, makes it Lemurian. But these ridges here, like they're inscribed with messages from a far off land called Lemuria. Okay, so this particular stone is very new to me. Oh, look how it curves. It's kind of phallic. I hate to say, but it is. I love it. Look how I can grip it and I just hold it close. So I was called to go to the gem fair that comes a few times a year in the Sacramento area. And I don't normally go on a Friday. Usually I go on a Saturday, most times Sundays. And I've been going for several years now. But I go, and normally it's not a huge selection by the time I go, but something told me to go after my son. I took my son to his doctor's appointment, which is usually a fluke. I never take my kids to the doctor on Fridays. Just don't like to end my week on on the note of taking people to doctor's appointments. But it worked out. So I was able to go to the gem fair on Friday. And one of my favorite sellers, he actually had these. He's from Brazil, and he had these on his table, and he sells out quickly a lot of his really good stuff, and he always gives me a great price for things. And I saw it, and I kept leaving that table and going off to other different booths, and then I come back and I see it sitting there, and I just could not leave without getting it. I had to get it, and so I had just enough cash to get it. He gave me a great deal for it. And then I just have been inseparable with it ever since. Wanting to sleep with it. I feel energized with it. I feel at peace. I feel connected. And this is what I'm told, is that when I got home and I did some more research on Lemurian, I knew I wanted a Lemurian crystal, but I didn't know why exactly. But when I got home, I realized why. It said that Lemurian crystals are from an ancient civilization, kind of like, what's the name of that? Like Atlantis, for example. The Lemuria is supposed to be like an underground, could be still kind of in a new dimension somewhere else, but it's supposed to be also ancient. And these stones actually hold great stories and great wisdom for each person who is guided to go and receive their little match. I get just a pull of excitement when I think about that, because when I read that, they said that each piece of Lemurian calls to the healer that it needs to connect with, because the stone is really more about healing the healer than it is about healing the person that I'm healing, if that makes any sense. This is about healing the healer, is what this stone is about. And it just heals me. Oh my gosh. Wow. And I meditated with it. Wow. Just blew my little chakras like wide open. Just beautiful, amazing moments I'm having with this piece. And you just meditate with your fingers going over the ridges, and it has specific wisdom that's calling to me. Like it said, once it calls to you, there's no like not having it. It has to happen. But I didn't know that at the time. I read about that after I brought it home and looked into my reference books, my crystal reference books about that. So here it is. And you can just kind of, there's so many inflections in there that I just stare at it in different light, daylight, nighttime light, lamps. I just like to feel it in my hand. So I'm excited to incorporate it into having it in my lap with readings and seeing how that goes, and having it on the table when I do readings. So we'll see how it goes. So yeah, I think it's pretty potent and powerful. The next that I have is Amylite. And here's Amylite, I believe from Canada. I have a few pieces of it, and I'd like more, but it's kind of expensive. The ones that I really want, the bigger pieces, as I have the little pieces, which I'm grateful that I have. But I would really particularly like the bigger piece. And I saw it this weekend at the gym fair, but I was like, nope, I'm going to be strong. Going to be strong. I've had these for a good while. They're wonderful. They're good. They activate the metaphysical powers that we have inside of us, and accesses different dimensions and exploring different dimensions. And they aid in that with its spiral, the spiraling of this beautiful fossil. So it helps you to access deep spiritual soul paths that you may be reading for, or, studying for, or even for yourself. So it really helps in spiritual enlightenment moments during reading. So I like to have these on my table. They're also really pretty to look at. They're actually really gorgeous. Actually. So yeah, I'm looking at my little notes here. And they activate personal empowerment. So if you're doing a reading for someone who needs the empowerment, and some of you may be really gifted at past life readings. I've heard that these are really good to have around, or maybe you're wearing when you're doing these, because it really helps to access that and to take from our ancestor what empowers that individual. So that's why this is a great stone for that. So that's cool. Another beautiful stone that I have is gold sheen obsidian. Because there's a glare, you're not going to really be able to see the gold sheen like I would want you to see it. It's amazing though. It's particularly effective for scrying. I do scry. I do actually look into the stone and scry, meaning that I can get some insight and meditate and get insight on, or gaze and meditate on, the future, the present, and the past. It is great to have for releasing ego and for problem solving and relationships. It's a great grounding tool, but it also balances energy fields and it imparts spiritual direction. It's really cool because it not only, I have a lot of stones in my collection that grounds you, but also allows you to it tethers you, grounding you, but it allows you to kind of go off into different vibrational frequencies and be able to play there, but not go off there and stay there and not be able to be grounded, if that makes any sense. So this is one of those stones, and it's, oh, you can see it there when I kind of turn it, the gold. Almost looks silver, but it's gold sheen. So that's that. And then we have my selenite. I have tons of selenite everywhere in my house. I have little selenite bits like this big, like that big, on my televisions and my computers at home and at work. And this is a selenite wand. It's massive. It's a good chunk that I like to have. I have to be careful not to cut myself or splinter myself on it. It feels good. It is high vibrational, so I can, even when I feel it, I feel it in my energy, being self, where it's like really high frequency, high vibrational, which I need right now. I need that. I've been kind of going into some deeper, darker, lower vibrational energies, and I need to now be pulled back up and go into some higher vibrational energies, and selenite will do that. When I do readings, I like to use my little tiny wand that I have bought for my daughter Ella, but then I found it very useful when I'm pointing, and in the pointing to the oracle or the tarot cards, I use my selenite wand, and it is great because it really clarifies down to the point and down to what is the task at hand, which is doing a reading for someone. So it really helps me to get clear on what it is that the messages are being conveyed in the reading. And it's just handy to have, and point is used as my pointer. So that's that. And then also with selenite, you can't see them out, or sorry, try to make it stop being blurry. But I have this. This is a plate of selenite that I just plop my stones that need to be cleansed, like my labradorite. I wear labradorite here on a daily basis, so I like to cleanse it on here in this plate that I have. And I have selenite candles where I put candles in there. Sorry for the blur, guys. Let me see if I can find something that'll stop the blur. So yeah, you know, selenite is amazing for bringing clarity of mind during a reading. So it's nice to have on your table or around you or near you. And I have it around me with this little tiny wand or with my massive wand. But I don't usually use this during readings for massive readings. I just like to have it in my home. They even said, I think I made a little note here about how it's good to have a large piece of selenite in your home. It keeps it nice and energetically balanced. Another stone that I have that's super important to my psychic toolkit is smoky quartz. This is just a tumbled piece of smoky quartz. Here's a piece of it in more kind of a semi-polished state. Love the smoky quartz. And smoky quartz here, it is a stone that grounds and anchors, okay? At the same time, it raises vibrations during meditation. And I would imagine during readings. Super pretty. It's the antidote to stress, so I need that, and my clients need it in readings. And it gently neutralizes negative energies and relieves fear, depression, and brings emotional calmness. I love smoky quartz. I feel that shift when I have it around me and near me. I feel it. Even when it's not right on my person and it's just nearby, you can feel a vibrational shift, or at least I can. That's, I guess, one of the gifts that I have is that I can feel the different shifts in vibrational energies. And I say that all the time when I'm talking to people, like, oh, I feel a different shift, or this person felt like that, and blah, blah, blah. So yeah. So then we have kyanite. I use this with meditations. It's good for meditation and attunements. It does not hold negativity, so I don't need to cleanse it or put it on my little selenite pad, which is nice. It strengthens the voice and heals the throat and thorax, and it's useful for public speaking. And I would venture to say for tarot readers or people who are healers, because if you're using your voice a lot, this is good for that as well. So it's a good thing to have in your toolbox. I like to have it near me as well, on my altar or on my table for reading. Let's see. Lepidolite raw. I love this. It's so pretty. It's thin. I wish I had a thicker piece, but it's kind of expensive. It does reduce stress and depression, which is awesome. It does clear blockages and helps in bringing cosmic awareness to you, and aids in shamanic and spiritual journeying, which I find quite amazing. It can take you forward into the future, which is why it's a great tool for doing readings with, having it nearby. It helps to calm, and it also helps to focus, and it helps speed up decision making. So that's good for when you're doing readings as well for people, so you're clear, and then the messages come off clear, and you're decisive and assured. And then, of course, there's labradorite, which I wear every day pretty much. It's my protective stone. It's highly mystical, magical even. Here is a piece that I had bought. I was getting ready to sell this piece, and eventually I may feel the need to call to let it go and pass on. I wish I could show you how brilliant it looks. It's kind of difficult to show how brilliant it is, but wow, mystical. It is the bringer of light. Look at that. There you go. It almost looks leopard print. It raises consciousness and connects with universal energies, deflects unwanted energies, and it actually prevents energy leakage. It really brings about transformation. It is a stone of transformation. And it grounds your spiritual energies while raising the consciousness. So what I like about this is that, again, it grounds, but then it also raises your consciousness and your vibrational energies. It does both. And so I feel protected when I'm using it, especially as I do readings for others. I feel a sense of protection, but also that sense of mysticism that is needed to kind of be in that space, ready to be a vessel or a conduit for healing, or a conduit for messages to others. And then I have moonstone, and I have both a little piece of the white moonstone, and then I have, I believe this is black. And it's a stone of new beginnings. I really like the black piece. It's connected to the moon and intuition, and it promotes intuition and empathy, which is needed for being a healer and a light worker. For sure, is having that empathy. It encourages lucid dreaming, so you can have it underneath your pillow and dream away, especially during a full moon. You will really experience some lucid dreams where you actually remember it. It helps and assists in increasing your psychic abilities and helps you embrace your clairvoyance. Sometimes it could cause a little bit more of mystery in your life than you are used to. So you have to be kind of careful when you're using this particular stone. It is a receptive, energetic stone. So when you're trying to be in a place of allowing in your life, of allowing blessings to come, and sometimes we have a lot of resistance, carrying moonstone is great because it is a very receptive type of stone. Whereas there's more stones that are more yang energy. This one is definitely more yin and more receptive and feminine in that way. So that's cool. It helps in aiding in hormonal imbalances and reproductive issues. So I also use it for other healing properties as well. So that's what's cool about moonstone. So yeah, those are the stones that I primarily go to in my little psychic tool kit, if you will, for crystals. What stones are you using? Or do you use crystals at all during your healing process for yourself or for others? I want to hear from you. Let me know what you do. How do you bring crystals into the mix in your world? So let me know. Thank you so much for watching. Many blessings, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.